Hey guys, welcome back. It is time for the best of 2016. I have so many great lip products that I found in 2016 that it's going to make this video entirely too long. So I think I'm going a little bit unconventional and a little bit differently than everyone else, but this video is going to be face products and eye products and a brush. So that's what I'm looking at for this particular video. And we can just get started. I think it's only natural that I start with foundations since I do foundation reviews. We will just start there. I'm gonna start off with Tarte Shape Tape. I was not expecting to like this, but I use it almost every single day. I swore by Tarte Maracuja Concealer for several years, and I just thought this was going to be too dry and too heavy for my under eye area, but I find that it really just lays beautifully and nicely, and I use it for concealing my face as well, and it just gives me the coverage that I need. It doesn't crease, it lasts all day, it doesn't make me look dry. I know everybody's experience has been different with this, and I can't explain why it works well for some people and why it doesn't for others, but I just find for me this works really great. The one qualm that I have is that I have not been able to find a good consistent color match. You know, I wear light medium to spot conceal on my face, and I have to mix it with either light or light sand to do under my eyes or any face highlighting. It does have that big doe foot applicator, which doesn't matter for me because if I spot conceal, I'm not going to use that big doe foot applicator. If I am doing any highlighting or concealing under my eyes, I am going to put it on the back of my hand and mix it. So pretty much every time I use it, I apply with a brush and blend out with a sponge. But I just love this stuff, and I'm so glad that I actually tried it and that it's working well for me. I also finally found a powder foundation that works well for my combination oily skin and doesn't accentuate any fine lines or break up during the day, and that powder foundation is Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation. I just really like this a lot. I did a foundation road test on it. I'm just gonna link any relevant links below in the description box to any reviews or anything like that. So if you guys want to see any videos I reference, just feel free to look down there, and I'll do a few card links as well. I use light medium, and I just find that whether I dust it on with a brush or if I do put it on lightly with a sponge, this just gives really nice natural looking coverage. It never looks cakey. It just is a really pretty powder foundation, and it never accentuates any dry areas either. So I've just really been liking this, and this is my go-to powder foundation at this point. And speaking of powder foundations, MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in Medium Plus is also a go-to for me that I discovered earlier this year. And I know people have been using this for years, but for some reason I thought it wouldn't agree with my skin because I had had bad experiences with MAC products aggravating my skin or breaking me out in the past. I had just kind of steered clear of it. And you can see I'm about to hit pan. This does have kind of a sheen to it. It's almost disappearing on my hand. I just put it on there, but you really can't see it. The way I use this most of the time is if I am using either a light coverage or sometimes even a medium coverage foundation, and I finish my entire makeup look, powder, color cosmetics, everything, I'll just take a fluffy brush and kind of diffuse this over the top. I'm not sure if diffuse is the right word, but I'll just dust this over the top, kind of the same way that the Hourglass ambient lighting powders were intended to be used for. I use this in that same way just to kind of give an airbrushed finish to the skin. So I'll do that sometimes. I'll also use it on days when I just really don't want much on my skin. I may dot some concealer and I'll just dust this over really quickly instead of a true powder foundation because this has very light coverage, and that's just the way I use this. Now on to foundations. I'm not going to go into great detail with these because I did just talk about each of these in my top 5 high-end foundations video. And I also have foundation road tests on every single one of these. So I'm just going to mention briefly why I like them. The first is Too Faced Born This Way. I wear the color light beige. I just find this is a beautiful foundation. If I want a foundation to last me 6 to 9 hours, look flawless on the skin, not heavy, give me more of that luminous demi-matte finish. If you have combination oily skin, a lot of times luminous foundations make you look greasy, but this gives me that effect without making me look greasy. Even when I have to touch up, all of these foundations, I will say, when I do start to get breakthrough shine, none of them wear away or break up in a bad way. They all look really good on the skin. They all do that gracefully. I guess I'll say you will get shine breakthrough because, I mean, if you have oily combination skin, you're going to get shine breakthrough at some point, no matter what you wear, whether it's 3 hours or 6 hours, but they do it in such a way where it just still looks good on your skin and you don't look like an oil slick. That's what I like about all of these foundations, this one included. This is a good one to wear for flash photography. It just photographs really well too. So this is definitely one I'm glad I discovered in 2016. The next foundation is Estee Lauder Double Wear Light. Not a surprise to anyone. This is one that is wonderful for the heat and humidity. It gives a nice light medium coverage. It just doesn't look heavy on the skin. It feels good on the skin. I just really love this foundation and I discovered it this year. The next two, I feel like I've just talked about a lot recently, so I'm just going to mention them both together. Tarte Rainforest of the Sea and Shiseido Synchro Skin. I mentioned them, I did foundation road tests this month. I mentioned them in my top 5 foundations and in my December favorites. So there's just been a lot of talk from me about both of these recently, but they are both really, really good foundations for different reasons. Shiseido is because it's more of a light to medium finish that just looks really, really great on the skin and just like your skin, but better, really lives up to that claim. I just love this foundation. Tarte Rainforest of the Sea because it's medium to full. It reminds me a lot of Too Faced Born This Way, but it lasts for 10 to 12 hours. It does have some flashback though, so if I want something that's going to be better for photography, I would choose Too Faced Born This Way. But oh, I love both of these. These are just great foundations. The next two face products are blushes, and the first is Cargo Tonga, and I used this blush years ago and rediscovered it in 2016. I do have a video comparing it to Tarte Exposed, which is another universal neutral that works well on so many different skin tones, and this one does not look like much in the pan, but it is absolutely beautiful on the skin, and I find that I wear this most days of the week. So the other blush that I discovered in 2016 is the Marc Jacobs Air Blush, which I absolutely adore. It does not swatch well, so I'm not even going to try, but the colors just blend together so beautifully to create this nice natural flush on the cheeks. The color that I have is Flesh and Fantasy, and I just find that this pairs well with any makeup look, whether it's cool or warm or neutral, to give such a nice natural look on the cheek. And I just love this. It wears well all day. I've been wearing this a ton. So between these two blushes, I'm kind of letting my other ones sit, and I don't mean to. I wore a different one today because I'm deliberately trying to reach for other blushes. I've been just wearing the crap out of these two. Now moving on to eyes. I think a lot of people have mentioned Benefit brow products, and I am going to just go ahead and throw out this Gimme Brow. I have it in shade 1, which is just a nice taupe shade. I normally wear, for brow products, what am I? Anastasia Taupe? Yeah, Anastasia Taupe. And this just works really well if I want to set my brows naturally and help give them dimension too and give a more fluffy brow. I don't like a really super groomed looking brow. I like them to have a little bit of depth and dimension, and this is just a nice final step. This video would not be complete if I did not mention Armani Eye Tint in number 9 Cold Copper. This is probably my holy grail eye product of all time. I just love this. I wear it all the time. I actually have to make an effort not to wear this more often than not. It is just so easy to use. I know seeing it on my hand is not even going to do it justice, but it blends so easily, and I think I did a tutorial with these. If I did, I'll link it below. I know I compared them to the Maybelline Color Tattoos, both in the pot and the wand, so I'll link that below for sure. But this color, look, I'm actually, am I getting to the end? I will definitely repurchase this when I run out. Hands down. And I want other colors, but they're so pricey. Now, I will say for the amount I spent, I have gotten my wear out of this already, and I'm not finished. It's like a bronzy, taupey, neutral shade, but it's not too dark. I wear this as a wash on the lid quite often. I also will do, I have Gold Ashes, which is a lighter shade that I'll do kind of on the lid sometimes, and I'll put this on the outer corner. And I'll do it in the crease sometimes. They just apply easily. They just give you enough time to work with them before they set. And the way they apply on the lid is how they look once they set. They don't dry and get all crinkly and make your eyelids look all dry. I find that that happens with a lot of these cream and liquid eye products, and this one is just so beautiful on the lid, and it's easy one step if you don't have a lot of time in the morning. This is holy grail for me. Also, a brush that I just got this year and have been really loving is the Sigma E40. I know a ton of people have had this for years and they've loved it, but for me, I just found it this year, and I like the way it's shaped. If you have hooded eyes, it just hits right where you need it on that hood area to where you can angle it up, get that area. It gives you a nice shadow effect. Speaking of shadow effect, I did not time that, but my light just went way down. Okay, I adjusted it back, but I know I'll probably be blown out and then I'll have to adjust it again. So I'm just at that weird time of day. Anyway, I really like this brush a lot, and I use it pretty much every single day. Actually, not pretty much every single day. I use it every single day for my transition shade. I discovered 2 palettes this year that I've just been loving. One I use all the time, and that is Tarte In Bloom. I know a ton of people talk about this palette, and I've talked about it before. You can see I've dipped into it quite a bit. I just find it's such a nice, neutral, yet leaning warm palette that's perfect for those of us who have warm coloring or neutral coloring. And you know, I have blue eyes, and I just find it works really well for my coloring, and I have just gotten a ton of looks out of this palette. And I love that it has everything I need in it. It's got some nice matte shades to work with. It's got transition shades. It's got a highlight shade. It's got shades that I line with that I can also put in the outer corner. It's got some shimmers, but they're not over the top. It blends easily. It's just very easy to work with. It's pretty much everything I need. So this is kind of a great palette to travel with too, if that's what I'm looking for. It's just an all-in-one palette for shadows. Love it. Reach for it all the time. Another palette that I've talked about several times that I discovered this year is the Anastasia Master Palette by Mario. And I'm not going to go into great detail because I have talked about it quite a few times, but you can see here the warm colors that are quite a bit more usable than I thought they were going to be. I've gotten some wonderful looks out of this palette. The only thing missing for me is a highlight shade, really, and a liner shade, but I'll just use a single liner shade or a pencil. Not a problem. I just really have been enjoying this palette quite a bit. And mascaras. I have 3 mascaras here that I'm going to talk about that are just standing out to me for this year in particular. The first is Maybelline Lash Discovery Waterproof. I was previously using Clinique's Bottom Lash Mascara, and I just found that it dried out very easily, and I was looking for a good bottom lash mascara. I really love this. I like that the wand is nice and small and the bristles are close together. It just gets that area really nicely, and it doesn't smudge. The other two, I think you know what I'm going to mention, but I will mention them anyway. I like to use them in combination with other mascaras, by themselves or in combination together. I have very picky lashes. They are stick straight. They do require a waterproof mascara to keep the curl, and they're thin and sparse, so I have to get something that will lengthen and volumize as well. The first mascara that I'm going to talk about, I'm already playing with it, is Too Faced Better Than Sex Waterproof. And I just love it. I was very skeptical. I didn't try this for a long time because I thought that the wand was a little big and I wasn't on board with this hourglass shape, but I really like the hourglass shape. Actually, I think that it hits the edges of my eye in a nice way. I have really enjoyed this. It is about to be done for me. So this was a great purchase. The next mascara that I'll mention is CoverGirl Supersizer. This is another mascara that I almost did not get because I thought the wand was a little weird, and I thought the application technique was hokey. I thought you shouldn't have to use a certain application method to get results, and you do have to use that forward turning motion, and it works. It works well. I love it. It does give me volume, it gives me thickness and length, and it's just a great mascara for my super picky, fine, thin lashes. And that is it for the best of 2016 face and eyes. There goes my light again. God. And that is it for the best of 2016 face and eyes. I'm hoping that I will make it through this exit and still have some light. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back with best of 2016 lips, best of 2016 skin and hair, best of 2016, what is it, lifestyle. I have kind of a miscellaneous category. So I hope that's not overkill for you guys and that you're enjoying all of this. If you are not following me on my social media platforms, I will put them on the screen and link them in the description box. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.